Got me reminiscing back to when days were great. Got me wishing it was 1988.
Got me reminiscing back to when times were great. Got me wishing it was 1988.
What's up, Lime Nation? It's good to see you all again. Welcome to the Rap Flashback March edition. Up here in the Northeast, as the calendar turns from February to March, the snow gradually thaws and the weather gradually warms. In like a lion and out like a lamb, they say. But when it comes to hip-hop, there's no land to speak of, as between March album releases, birthdays, and other notable moments, it's all lying. And I ain't lying at all. We've got a lot to cover this month, so without further ado, let's get started. On March 27, 1984, the landscape of rap music was forever changed as Run DMC released their self-titled debut. Today, it's easy to say that this album was important because it marked the beginning of Run DMC's storied career as hip-hop's first group to reach superstardom. Even at the time, however, the album was groundbreaking. It stood out. Sonically, it was powered by minimalist production, accentuated by heavy drums and Jam Master Jay's scratching. Run and DMC delivered strong, gritty vocals and often went back and forth with their rhymes, sharing bars within the same verse, a technique they mastered that was unique then and even rarer today. I was 4 when this album came out, but I remember jamming alongside my teenage brother and my older cousins to tracks like Hard Times, Rockbox, and Sucker MCs. In fact, my brother, being the responsible older sibling that he was, would blast Wake Up at 6 in the morning to get me up for school. I've always been a deep sleeper, but it worked. Not so much because of the noise factor, but because I liked the song. Run DMC was pretty much my introduction to rap music. It was love at first listen, and I've never looked back. 3 decades later, I can still listen to this album and enjoy it just as much as I did back in the mid-'80s. Simply put, it's one of rap's first classic records. And it's like that!
And that's the way it is.
Huh! Criminal Minded, the debut album from Boogie Down Productions, is yet another record that strengthened my love for rap music. Released on March 3rd, 1987, this album had a street edge, knowledge, and beats for days. Featuring production from the late great Scott LaRock, as well as Ced G, partner Lee Smith, and KRS-One himself, who of course provided the rhymes. Criminal Minded is a hip-hop masterpiece. It's often credited as being a precursor to an East Coast style of gangster rap that would be popularized in the 90s. South Bronx and The Bridge Is Over drew attention due to BDP's ongoing battle with MC Shan and the Juice Crew. Songs like Dope Beat and 9mm Goes Bang resulted in a good balance of having fun with the music and delivering social commentary from an inner city perspective. And then there's a track like Super Ho, a song about Scott LaRock's magic touch with the ladies, if you will. Not unlike Redman with Superman Lover. It stands out because, though rooted in a sexual theme, it's really just a fun, pretty tame track in terms of vulgarities or explicit imagery that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just the boys talking mess. Criminal Minded is a fantastic album all around, and one that I implore all you younger hip-hop soldiers to study. You might learn something. March was an important month in the early career of one of my favorite acts of all time, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. On March 19, 1987, the duo released their debut record, Rock the House. Its standout single, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, a fun track about the pitfalls of chasing chicks, definitely put them on rap's radar. It was their follow-up record, however, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, released March 29th of 1988, that would catapult Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince to the forefront of hip-hop's consciousness. In fact, the album would prove to be historic, as its standout single, Parents Just Don't Understand, would score the group rap's first ever Grammy in 1989. This is another one of those records that fortified my love of rap music. Only about 8 years old at the time, I distinctly recall listening to all 18 tracks over and over on my brother's old school boombox with the big speakers. Sonically, I loved it because it was smooth and jazzy, a nice change of pace from the hardcore drum-heavy beats that had become the standard at the time. I've also always enjoyed how ridiculously nasty Jazzy Jeff is on the turntable. If you've never heard him do the Transformer scratch, you're missing out big time. Lyrically, I've always enjoyed Will Smith's sometimes self-effacing, sometimes boastful, but always fun and clever rhymes. I also remember thinking how creative the album cover was on the vinyl, with the He's the DJ pseudo-graffiti text flanking Jazzy Jeff on one side, and the Fresh Prince on the opposite side next to I'm the Rapper. It was dope. This was a fun, well-rounded album with bangers like Brand New Funk and Charlie Mack, First Out the Limo, and smoother cuts like Time to Chill and As We Go. It also has some creative theme-oriented songs like Human Video Game, a beatboxing track where Ready Rock C mimicked Donkey Kong sound effects with his voice, and A Nightmare on My Street, a Freddy Krueger-inspired track that features one of my favorite Will Smith bars. He's burnt up like a weenie, and his name is Fred. Yeah, I know, Will's always been a little cheesy, but I dig that stuff. It's his appeal and has been since he and Jazzy were rocking back in the mid-80s. He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper is a prime example of what makes the duo so great, and as such, remains one of my favorite albums to date. So all you overly street types that hate on Will and Jazzy's clean-cut approach to music, get over it. These are true legends of rap, and occasionally it's nice to listen to something a bit more wholesome, right?
I respect women when I'm on a date. I take them to the park or maybe a museum, and I only try to kiss them if they're ready. Woohoo! What? Say what? Help out your mom and dad by getting a job so you can help pay for school supplies. Woohoo! Say ho! Wipe your shoes on the mat when you come in the house. Someone just clean that floor. Woohoo! Say what? Ha ha!
Oakland legend E40, a guy who's vastly underappreciated out east, I might add, released In a Major Way, his second studio album, on March 3rd, 1995. Powered by E40's unique rap style and Bay Area vernacular, it peaked at number 2 on the R&B and hip-hop charts and features some of the West Coast's top artists, such as Mac Mall, Be Legit, Spice One, and Tupac. The funk-driven grooves of Sprinkle Me make it one of my go-to tracks when I'm in a good mood, even today. On March 28, 1995, Wu-Tang Clan's Old Dirty Bastard released his solo debut, Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version. Also debuting at number 2 on the R&B and hip-hop charts, the album would achieve gold status in just a few months and earned a Grammy nod. Truly a fantastic record. Who could forget RZA's trademark production backing ODB's raspy, seemingly drunken, but powerful delivery, and his funny, often lowbrow punchlines. I mean, Shimmy Shimmy Ya, Brooklyn Zoo, who could pick between those tracks? They're both so great and so fun in their own right. ODB, you are definitely missed. March 14th, 1995, marked the release of Tupac's third studio album, Me Against the World. It debuted at number 1 on the charts, making Pac the first jailed artist to have a number 1 record. Though it didn't win its Grammy nomination, Me Against the World did prove victorious at the Soul Train Awards in 1996, taking home Best Rap Album, fitting because the album certainly has soul, and heart, and guts, all staples of what made Tupac an all-time great. The passion and soul that he puts into so many tears quite simply makes it one of the best rap performances ever. And who can forget how gripping Dear Mama was, or that Temptations video featuring a who's who of 90s hip-hop artists, such as Ice-T, Tretch, and Salt and Pepper, all showing their support for Pac, who was still behind bars at the time. The album was recorded at a time before Pac's bi-coastal feuding and death row madness, but far enough into his career for one to hear lyrical and thematic growth. Taking nothing away from any of his other projects, including All Eyes on Me, Me Against the World is Tupac's most consistent, well-balanced, and honest album. I love most of Pac's music, but this album is definitely my favorite. Rest in power. And to close out the segment, other notable March album releases include World's Greatest Entertainer by Dougie Fresh, March 25th, 1988. 3 Feet, High and Rising by De La Soul, March 3rd, 1989. Black's Magic by Salt and Pepper, March 19th, 1990. Sex Packets, Digital Underground, March 26, 1990. Totally Crossed Out by Criss Cross, March 31st, 1992. Back the Fuck Up by Onyx, March 30th, 1993. The Coming by Busta Rhymes, March 26, 1996. The Untouchable by Scarface, March 11th, 1997. And Rolling Papers by Wiz Khalifa, March 29th, 2011. Album releases alone make March an historic month for hip-hop, but unfortunately, March has also been marred with tragedy. One of hip-hop's most recognizable voices, Nate Dogg, passed away on March 3rd, 1995. A blend of smooth and powerful, Nate Dogg's vocals always made a track better. Who could forget him going back and forth with Warren G on Regulate, or his performance on The Next Episode? Neither one of those tracks, and countless others, would have been as good without Nate Dogg on the hook. Rest in power, Nate Dogg, and smoke weed every day. On March 26, 1996, one of the godfathers of gangsta rap, Eazy-E, passed away due to complications from AIDS. The legacies of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and anything Dr. Dre and Ice Cube spawned can all be traced back to Eazy-E. He was the brainchild behind NWA and co-founder of Ruthless Records, the record label that would become the blueprint for future labels such as Death Row, No Limit, and Cash Money. Rest in power, Eazy, you are missed. And lastly, the notorious B.I.G. met his untimely demise on March 9, 1997. A date forever immortalized by Cannabis on Second Round KO when he rapped, because the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. Biggie's impact is well documented and impossible to cover in such a small space. But simply put, at worst, he's one of the top 10 rappers to ever record, and to a huge legion of hip-hop heads, he's the GOAT. B.I.G. forever. And to close out the flashback, happy birthday shout-outs are in order for the following March hip-hop babies. Representing the Woo, Method Man, March 2nd. KRS-One's partner in crime, the legendary DJ Scott LaRock, March 3rd. Funky Cole Medina, Mr. Wild Thing himself, Tone Loc, March 3rd.
She like to do the wild thing.
I like it. Speaking of Wild Thing, R&B songstress and former Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star, the voluptuously beautiful and very outspoken K.Michelle, March 4th. I love me some K.Michelle.
Scarlett, you watch Love and Hip Hop? Isn't that like a chick show? Why do you watch Love and Hip Hop?
Yes, and because K.Michelle and Erica Mena and Tahira.
All right, I got it. That's enough.
You're right. We've got some more birthday shout-outs coming up. I'll move on. Or will I? Love and Hip Hop, the reality show that has featured a bevy of gorgeous gals such as Yandy Smith, Sin Santana, Jocelyn Hernandez, Erica Dixon, Samaya Reese, Rashida.
Dude, what is your point?
March 6th. Love and Hip Hop debuted on March 6, 2011. Happy birthday, ladies.
Unbelievable.
One of the few guest appearances on Nas's classic Illmatic, the vastly underappreciated AZ, March 9th. The MC formerly known as Little Bow Wow, namely Bow Wow, March 9th. Super producer Timbaland, March 10th. Houston's own Paul Wall, March 11th. Chicago's finest, Common, March 13th. Representing the Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am, March 15th. Hip Hop Royalty, Queen Latifah, March 18th. UGK member, Bun B, March 19th. Straight out of New Orleans, super producer Manny Fresh, March 20th. Also out of the NO, Juvenile, March 25th. A man who wishes he was a little bit taller, and don't we all? Skilo, March 27th. One half of the legendary Salt and Pepper, the lovely Cheryl Salt James, March 28th. Lost Boys MC, Mr. Cheeks, also on March 28th. And lastly, a man who's too legit to quit, MC Hammer, March 30th. And that concludes this month's Rap Flashback. Be sure to catch up on previous episodes on the JP Line Productions YouTube channel or on our website at jplineproductions.com. While you're there, check out our weekly editions of JPL Magazine for funky fresh hip-hop, entertainment, sports, and poetry. Through the eyes and ears of the Lime, of course. And you know I can't leave without reminding you to check out our music, available on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and directly from us at the website, jplineproductions.com. You got that? Good. Trust me, your ears will thank you. We invite you back next month for more Hip Hop History 101 as only JP Line can deliver it. And as the great KRS-One put it, you must learn. See you next month, y'all. Good luck with your homework and line up.
Money is the key to end all your woes.
Your ups, your downs, your highs and your lows.
Won't you tell me the last time that love bought you clothes?
It's like that.
What?
And that's the way it is. Bills rising higher every day.
We receive much lower pay.
I'd rather stay young, go out and play. It's like that, and that's the way it is.